when one side has lawyers, the other side needs to have lawyers. Yeah. So it's just a big game now.
Yes.
It's just a stupid game. It's just a stupid game. It's crazy to take something which is working and to make it not work.
Mm-hmm. You need to solve it.
Yeah, you can't solve a problem with somebody who will not talk about the problem.
Still?
No, no. When a problem like this is created, it never ends.
Never. Yes.
It never ends.
Yes.
You can't just that's everything fixed. No, nothing will ever be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Some things, when you break them, you can't put them back together, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I understand.
Right. So and that's that. You can't fix something if somebody doesn't want to fix something.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody doesn't want to fix something, it will only get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So so I don't know what to expect next in the legal system. Nothing is sure, nothing is certain, nothing is 100% there, right? It's a lot of people make a lot of money in the system,
Mm-hmm.
and the more difficult and the more complex and the more complicated and the longer everything is, then everybody will suffer. Everybody, there will be a lot of pain for everybody for forever.
Mm-hmm.
You can do almost anything that you want to do. If you want to save the children, you can save the children, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you
Yeah.
want,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to not have a conflict,
Mm-hmm.
you can
Mm-hmm.
not have a conflict
Mm-hmm.
if you want. But you have to communicate.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course.
You have to communicate. So zero communication creates conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody doesn't want to talk,
But I don't understand why after.
nobody understands. I think that I know, but
Mm-hmm.
it's only a theory. I have a theory, but it's only a theory. Um, there are many people who are trying to live in the present moment, but they
Mm-hmm.
are not in the present moment. In their mind, they are in
Mm-hmm.
other spaces,
Mm-hmm.
other times, the past
Mm-hmm.
and the future.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that humans make decisions And this is an idea or a theory that I started to use about 10 years ago, and it's worked very well because my logic comes from language.
Yes.
And so there are three, if you imagine a triangle, there are three key points. There are three key points to there is your conscious mind. There's what you know about where you are. There is your subconscious mind, which is what you don't know is happening around where you are.
Yeah.
And there's your unconscious mind, which is your life experience, all your experiences in your life. And these are like three voices in a person's head. And they communicate with each other. But most of the time, we don't think about it because we think, I am me and I am in control. But what if I'm not in control? What if the engine of the voices in my mind is a lot of things under the surface? A lot of things from past, a lot of things from history. A lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. The idea of spirits and ghosts comes from something real. It comes from people's real experiences. I'm not saying that ghosts are real. I don't know if ghosts are real, but I know that people have experiences where they think that ghosts are real. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know. But the ghosts and the spirits are the voices of history that are in our mind. And they speak to us, they talk to us, they influence us. Some people call it the voice of God, which is in my head and speaks to me. But it's not really the voice of God. It's the voice of everybody that you have ever spoken to, everybody you have ever listened to. It's all of your experiences. And maybe on a subconscious level, it goes back through the history of your family. Maybe it goes back in time. Maybe it goes back to your parents and your grandparents and your great grandparents and there as well. And so the idea of a person being not themselves is very possible when there are problems or things are not logical. It's similar in religion when they talk about possession. Possession is when the spirit controls you. Yeah. So and it's used in a negative way in Christianity. It's like there's a demon spirit in the person. You know, they're bad. What this is a fight for control of yourself. And a lot of that fight is psychological fear. What do you fear the most? Where should you not go? Because if you go there, you will learn something that will change everything. Right? Something that will change everything. And usually what this is connected with is the voices of our parents in our mind. It goes back to Freudian psychoanalysis, but but a lot of adults are still controlled by the voices of their parents that spoke to them when they were very young. And what these voices say is, don't go there, because if you go there, you will learn something that will change everything. And so people have fears. They fear the future. They fear the irrational. They make crazy decisions. And I think that a lot of people, and I've seen this a little bit in myself, where when I speak, I feel sometimes it's not me. It's like it's my mother speaking or my father speaking, because I'm using their language or their physical actions in a way. There's part of them still in me, and I catch it sometimes. I'm like, oh, that's not me. Right? That's the voices of the past. That's the little devil on the shoulder saying, hey, listen to me. You need to do this. Oh, okay, right.
I understand that.
Yeah. And if we don't confront and I don't mean physical confrontation. I mean, what I really mean is self-study. If we don't really study ourselves, if we don't learn ourselves, then we will not know which voices are our voices, our conscious voices, and which voices are the subconscious and the unconscious. And it's actually the way that we act is how can I explain this? We don't fully understand what it is that we are doing a lot of the time, because we are running programs of our unconscious mind, which is, we think we are making a conscious decision, but we're not. Now, here's the classic example. The classic example is somebody who eats too much. They think, oh, my brain is telling me to eat food, but they're not really eating food. What they're looking for is comfort, is happiness, is satisfaction, is a feeling of being full and fulfilled and complete. And this is because a lot of people who are fat were abused as children. Their parents were not very good. They had bad parents who didn't give them enough love, didn't give them enough care, didn't give them enough attention, didn't educate them about healthy foods and exercise and all these things. And when there are problems, we are in conflict with ourselves. And the conflict with ourselves is within this triangle of conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. And the biggest problems happen when the decisions are made by our unconscious mind, because they go in conflict with who we are. It's not us. Because who we are as us does things that's good for us. But the subconscious mind does things that are good for other people.
Ego.
not for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Things that are good for our parents, things that are good for our family, things that are good for our history. It causes us to repeat mistakes. It causes us to,
Mm-hmm.
as I said earlier, it causes us to fear the future and fear certain choices. If we have no experience of something,
Mm-hmm.
that thing is not known to us. And like if you have no experience of the Swedish language, you don't understand the Swedish language.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You can't listen to it, you can't communicate in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the same idea about language applies to human actions and emotions. Our actions are a language. Our emotions are a
Mm-hmm.
language. And so sometimes our actions are how we communicate with the world. Sometimes we don't communicate with the world in a way where everything fits together. It's not congruent. There's a clash. There's a fight, and this
Mm-hmm.
fight, and I know this about myself, that if I have a conflict with somebody, a large part of that conflict is with myself. It's mostly with myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know this because if 10 people like somebody, but I don't like that person,
Mm-hmm.
then this negativity is within me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is from me. Like if 10 people like this cup and I don't like this cup, this dislike is from me. It comes from me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so this whole emotional state of negativity will sometimes just explode out of people because they don't understand what it is. They don't understand where it's coming from, and they want to burn everything.
Mm-hmm.
They want to burn everything because what's happening to them is something that they don't understand within themselves. And yeah, this is, there's that analogy from the Bible where
Mm-hmm.
Jesus goes out into the desert for 40 days or
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he goes out because it's a test for himself. He takes himself and he puts himself out there. And, in the story, he meets with the devil, and the devil offers him
Mm-hmm.
things, and he has to say no and reject this, um, reject that road, that path. And so the idea is that if there's a problem, we must go and we must solve this problem by
Mm-hmm.
ourselves because the problem is in us.
Yes.
It's in who we are. And if we are not able to do that, if we're not able to recognize
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
then the conflict begins within ourselves. And it starts here and it spreads to everyone and to everything
Mm-hmm.
else. And you take everybody with you when you go down.
Yes, yes, I understand everything. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No.